up a little. There we go.
There we go.
We welcome you back inside the Footprint Center here in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. Your Northern Arizona Wranglers getting a hard-fought victory here tonight, 62-53 over a very tough Arizona Rattlers team. James Swooby coming to you live here inside the broadcast booth, high atop the Footprint Center. Ed, like you, my friend, I am just about spent. What an absolute thriller of a football game.
Folks, if you hear that my voice is cracking and James' voice is cracking, it's because we were yelling the entire time, as I'm sure you were. So we apologize if our voices aren't the usual way they are. But what a game. The Wranglers were up 42-14,
yes.
James. They were up 28 points. What did we say at halftime? The Rattlers were not going to go away quietly. We knew Drew Powell and that Rattlers team was going to come back, and they were going to fight for the entire 60 minutes, and they did that, running off 33 straight points. But when the chips were down, this team scored 20 points when it really needed it. Nick Watson, 6 touchdown passes today, 5 to RCB. Ramad Jakiel Bowman was outstanding. He was out of this world. He was inhuman tonight.
He really was. We're going to try to catch up with RCB. Those guys are having a powwow in the locker room right now, but we're trying to get communicated down there and get him on here, the postgame show with us. RCB, as Ed mentioned, 5 touchdown passes tonight, and our offense was playing well, and that defense really came up huge when it counted the most.
Oh, it did. Again, Drew Powell, these numbers you don't see from him every day. 8 of 21, 80 yards, 2 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions, sacked once. My goodness, let me go to these defensive numbers. Keyshawn Walker had 2 interceptions. Kerry Starks had 2 interceptions. Travion Banks had the other interception. They picked Drew Powell 5 times in his own building. And the Wranglers were able to gut out a hardcore victory. I'm at a loss for words, folks, and you know that's hard for me.
That is really tough for Ed to be at a loss for words. I can attest to that for sure. But what a game. I mean, it was back and forth. You couldn't look away from this football game for a moment because you would miss a whole lot of action if you did. But the main thing about it was the Wranglers never quit fighting, even though you saw the game start to get out of hand there in that third and even into the fourth quarter. But they maintained their composure and found a way to win.
And that's what it is. We knew there were going to be slings and arrows. There are going to be ups and downs. There are going to be peaks and valleys in the course of a football game, especially a playoff game when you're fighting for a berth in the Western Conference Championship game and the loser goes home and the winner moves on to play Tucson or Bay Area come next Saturday or next Sunday, whenever the IFL schedules it. So we knew it was going to be this kind of a game where you would have to fight tooth and nail for the entire 60 minutes. And we are proud. James and I are proud of this Wranglers football team for gutting out a victory when, again, the chips were down and it looked bad. It looked really bleak. This team found a way to get their resolve and just get their intestinal fortitude, get it back, get their fight, get their hunger, get their heart, their desire to win this football game back, and they snatched this game from the Rattlers.
They did indeed. The Rattlers finally getting that lead there, getting the lead back, I should say, in that fourth quarter. But I think that even fired the Wranglers up even more, saying, hey, we're on the doorstep of this thing. We got to close this door.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what they were able to do here tonight inside the Footprint Center. So proud of these guys.
The growth this football team had today, James, just immense. For a young man like Nick Watson to come in and arguably the biggest game of his career, to come in and throw 6 touchdowns. What is his numbers? 15 of 25, 222 and 6 touchdowns, an interception, but 6 touchdowns in the biggest game of his career, of his professional career, James. That speaks volumes for number 13. So proud of that young man.
Nick Watson had a magnificent performance here tonight inside the Footprint Center. And then Garrett Kettle came in relief in there as well for a couple plays, and we didn't miss a beat. And that's the best thing about this football team is the depth, and they're able to come in here and play for each other, and they gutted out this win here tonight.
And they had to, because we knew the Rattlers were going to make it down and dirty. If they were going to go out, they were going to go out swinging. They were going to make it as dirty and ugly as possible. And doggone it, if it didn't get ugly and dirty in the third and fourth quarters, and we were sitting here, in this suite, and listen to my voice. That tells you what we were doing up in this suite. We were freaking out.
There are holes in the carpet, folks. If you can see, we're pacing around the island here in the suite. It was something to behold here tonight, but ultimately the Wranglers coming out with a 62-53 win to advance to the Western Conference Championship game.
For the second,
that will be next weekend, but we don't quite know the opponent yet because there's a big game coming up tomorrow that will decide that opponent.
For the second year in a row, this Wranglers football team advances to the Western Conference Championship. They'll play either Tucson or San Jose or Tucson or Bay Area. They play in San Jose tomorrow. Sorry, folks, I'm still discombobulated. My mind is going a million different directions after this football game. You can understand.
Yeah, we're literally trying to still wrap our head around what we just witnessed out here on the field inside the Footprint Center tonight. Let's step aside here and take a short timeout, and when we return, we'll hopefully catch up with RCB. I'm sure they are down there celebrating as we speak in that locker room. Rightfully so. The Wranglers getting a 62-53 win here tonight to advance in the 2023 IFL playoffs. Stay with us. More postgame coming up next.
Can you believe it?
On the Wranglers YouTube channel.
Can you believe it, folks?
Goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
Stay here. We are not wrapped up yet.
There's a little piece of magic in the heart of the Verde Valley, where adventure is encouraged. Whether you're whining and dining, rocking and rolling, or pushing and pulling, it's your adventure. Play however you choose.
Who's to say you don't have the skills to reach the top? Who's to say you don't have power?
This is how we do it.
Who's to say you can't own the stage? Who's to say you can't put a team together? Who's to say who's best? The best ever? Or who will be in the future? And with this game-changing team to inspire us, who's to say what's possible for you? Pepsi, play to inspire.
Thank goodness for the commercial break. I think we're calmed down a little bit.
Well, a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Barely.
Your Wranglers, 62-53 victors over the Arizona Rattlers. They advanced to the Western Conference Championship game for the second year in a row, as they are in search of running it back, of repeating as national champions. But it wasn't easy. If it was easy, everybody in the Indoor Football League would be in the spot that the Wranglers are right now, right, JP?
Absolutely, and never easy, Ed, to be a 4 seed to come into the house of the number 1 seed and take them down in their own building in front of their own crowd. But the Wranglers did indeed do that here tonight inside the Footprint Center. A magnificent performance on offense, and that defense was all over the field. I mean, look at the stat sheet, Ed. Almost everyone on defense contributed and had a tackle.
Yeah, you look at Tariq Miller and Kerry Starks, both leading the team in tackles, both with 7. Jaquan Artis, 6 tackles. Keyshawn Walker, 4 tackles. Justice King was huge tonight. He had 4 tackles. Tremont Lofton had 3 tackles. Two TFLs on his resume. Tremont Lofton had the sack in the end zone that led to the touchdown in the first half. 2 PBUs by Artis and Travion Banks. We talked about the 5 interceptions that Drew Powell threw. Very uncharacteristic of him, but the defense, that number 2 ranked defense, knew that they had a week ahead of them, JP, a full week of practice. That practice they did up in Prescott Valley this week in preparation, wow, it really worked out today, didn't it, JP? After the week, we had the game didn't go the way we wanted it to last week, losing by 16, but still, I'll take this win all day, every day.
Well, this is the win you want. This is the one that counts and advances you to the next step towards the goal, which is the Dollar Loan Center up there in Henderson, Nevada. And let me tell you, this team just came out here tonight and laid it all on the turf, and they left it all out there. And we knew they had to, Ed, and that's exactly what they did here tonight, because as we said in the halftime, much more football left, and we knew the Rattlers weren't going to just lay down and die.
Yep, and it shows a lot about the character of this football team, right, James?
Yes.
You're up 28 points. Most people were thinking, well, this game's over. You know, a lot of people were leaving for the exits here at the Footprint Center. But lo and behold, the Rattlers were not going to lay down and just give this victory up and let the Wranglers just walk to the Western Conference Championship game. They ran off 33 straight points again to take it was 48-47 lead, 47-42 or something like that. Forgive me, but they ran off 33 straight points, do the math, 47-42. So they had a 5-point lead.
Yes.
And then it just went back and forth, seesaw affair. Nick Watson again coming up big. The team scores 20 points down the stretch when they needed every single one of those 20 points, James, to get this 9-point victory to advance to the Western Conference title game.
I can just imagine how fun that bus ride is going to be up
Oh,
the
yeah.
I-17 tonight, getting off and making that little slight left there on the 69,
On the 69, yes.
and on up to Prescott Valley. What a great win here tonight for our Northern Arizona Wranglers. They will advance to the Western Conference Final next week, and we understand that game could be played on Monday night next week, depending on where that'll be. But again, everything will have to depend on tomorrow night's game between the Bay Area Panthers and the Tucson Sugar Skulls. We'll have our popcorn ready for that one. We know you will too. That kicks off at 5:05 p.m. local time here on the Indoor Football League Network with Dave Lewis, our pal there on the call for the Panthers.
We cannot wait to hear Brother Lewis's call. He was texting us all game. He's over in San Jose. He's unbelievably, he can't believe what he's seeing. Jeff Munn is texting us. He can't believe what he is seeing. Yes, folks, that did actually happen. And we are excited. Whether it's Tucson, whether we go to Tucson or San Jose, the fact that this team knocked off the #1 seed in their building for the second year in a row, that's just an impressive achievement. What an accomplishment for this Wranglers football team.
And shout out as well to Coach Moss, Coach Simpson, Coach Moran, everyone involved with the Wranglers, keeping everything tight this week. A really good practice schedule. Coach Windsor, as well as you mentioned, really dialing up an excellent game plan here tonight to defeat a very tough Rattler squad.
And I just love that Nick Watson, whatever Coach Windsor, whatever he drew up, they went deep on this Rattlers defense. They were not scared of going against this secondary. They aired it out all night long. 222 yards, 6 touchdowns for Nick Watson. What an impressive accomplishment and an achievement for that young man.
It's really great to see this team just continue to not be afraid to take those shots down the field, because that's what you got to do this time of year, especially when you want to beat the big boys, and that's exactly what they did here tonight, defeating the Arizona Rattlers 62-53 to advance to the Western Conference Championship. That'll be played sometime next weekend, and we'll have that information for you probably tomorrow night, I would imagine. So check all the social media outlets and all that stuff for all that information.
Yeah, I'm sure Tucker will he'll put something on IG and Facebook and our Twitter accounts, and the Indoor Football League. I'm sure they've already got their schedules ready. So once that game is over tomorrow night in San Jose, we will know when and where it is going to be, and then we can make our travel plans, and you guys can make your travel plans if you're going to go to Tucson or San Jose and join this Wranglers football team, as they need you.
Absolutely right. And we hope you'll join us as well. We will have coverage for you. We don't know if we'll be on the road with the team or not at this point, but we'll have that information hopefully over the next couple of days. But regardless, we will have coverage for you online available if it's from the house or from the arena. Regardless, we got you covered here on the Wranglers YouTube channel. Once again, our Wranglers getting the win tonight, 62-53 inside a very full footprint center. There was a great crowd on hand tonight, but unfortunately they left not too happy here tonight as the Wranglers get the win 62-53 to advance to the Western Conference Championship.
Sounds
For
good.
my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole, I'm James Tuvey. Have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy that game tomorrow night, 5:05 kickoff between the Panthers and the Sugar Skulls. And as always, go Wranglers.